What is equity? How can we use it? So let's say you have $1 million property, for argument's sake. It could be anything, right? But if you've got $1 million property, you put down a $200,000 deposit, which is your 20% deposit on that property, you will have an $800,000 loan. Now that $800,000 loan is your 80% loan to value ratio, right? So let's say that house goes up in value, and that house goes up in value $100,000 and it's now worth 1.1 a year later. You will be able to extract that extra $100,000 out and use that as a deposit to buy your next investment property. Now, you don't necessarily have to be at 80% loan to value ratio. You could be at 90% loan to value ratio if you choose to pay lender's mortgage insurance and extract that bit of equity, and you can take more money out. Right now, loan to value ratio is LVR. So you probably hear me shorten it all the time talking about LVR. That's loan to value ratio. And you could go 90%, you could go 95%. So that would be a 5% deposit down. A 90% loan to value ratio will be a 10% deposit down. And 80%, which is the standard 20% down that, the majority of the banks require, that doesn't incur a fee. So you will need, and here's another one for you, lender's mortgage insurance. So LMI, lender's mortgage insurance, is the fee you will pay to be able to utilize a smaller deposit. So if you have only a 10% deposit for that $1 million home of $100,000, that'll be a 90% loan to value ratio. Then you will pay lender's mortgage insurance because you don't have that full 20% deposit or $200,000 to put down on that property. I love using lender's mortgage insurance, and I love leverage. Leverage is, you're leveraging good debt, right? Good debt is what creates value. Well, it's what creates wealth, right? And that's how you get wealthy, is minimizing all your bad debt. No credit cards, no car loans, no zip pay, just buying quality property that goes up in value over time. And you need to use good debt in order to buy those assets. Unless you come from money and you have money already and you have a trust fund set up, God bless if you do. If you don't, you're in the boat with the rest of us, and you need to leverage. Use LMI. It is your friend in the property market in these inflationary times and what's going on worldwide. You need to be buying as much property, especially with this upcoming property boom, which we're going to touch on later. Rate cuts are coming. This is going to be huge. But essentially, that's what equity is. So equity is the untapped amount of money that's in your property that you could take out. Like, this isn't money that you physically see, right? You're not going to go to the bank and take it out in cash. You're just simply going to refinance. There's me again. We're abbreviating things, but you're going to refinance. You're going to extract that equity and you're going to buy again. We generally stay away from cross-collateralization as investors because I don't like two assets cross-collateralized and tied together. I prefer everything standalone. So it's very easy, when we have to exit that property. You never know what's going to happen, and float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, right? So if we need to sell something, we can quickly sell it. We don't need to go back to a mortgage broker or back to the bank and untie those two properties, right? Keep them separate, keep them standalone. So that's why I like to do the top up on the equity on your home loan so that you can extract that equity and then use that as your deposit for a loan, even with another lender, right? And then buy that investment property in a growth area with a good data set, with good growth perspectives, and, create wealth through that. And a lot of people are sitting on that money. It's doing nothing. And let's face it, this is what the majority of Australians aren't understanding, is that the home you live in is not an asset. It's just a roof over your head. It produces no income. It's simply there because you need that roof over your head. But if you want to retire and retire comfortably, you need to buy investment properties. You need to invest in whatever you're investing in, right? This is a property podcast and we're talking about property, but you could be buying crypto. You could be a stock market whiz. You could be whatever, right? But if you want to create wealth using a safe investment vehicle, obviously we suggest property because that's what we do. Buying that extra investment property that you could get into will change the game for you in retirement. You don't have to go and buy, 5, 10, 15, 20, but, buying one or two will put you in such a great financial position later on. So yeah, that's definitely what we want to get into more today. So calculating equity is like that. So if you've, as I mentioned previously, if you've got that $1 million and that property goes up 10%, you'll be able to extract that equity. Obviously, having an $800,000 loan, that's the 80% loan to value ratio, you will increase that and still keep it at 80% loan to value ratio. You increase the loan to $900,000.